Welcome to Sport Compact Car's Ultimate Street Car Challenge. I'm your host, your Uncle Joe Benson. It's the mother of all performance tests. Join us as 10 of America's baddest of bad boy performance cars, selected by the readers of Sport Compact Car, compete to see who gets crowned the ultimate street car. Here's our lineup. A Ferrari F360 Modena, a turbocharged rotary-powered DATSUN 510, a turbocharged Nissan Sentra SE, a twin-charged Toyota MR2, the mighty Skyline GTR, a supercharged Acura Integra Type R, a twin-engine Hyundai Tiburon that runs on methanol, a streetwise Nissan twin-turbo 300ZX, a Mustang 5.0, and a Toyota Supra Turbo rounding out the field. The challenges, the CC Tuner Car Show. The overall appearance of the cars will be judged by our panel of experts. The Jackson Racing Guru Panel. Our panel of engineers poked, prodded, admired, and critiqued every aspect of these cars for build quality. Call it our version of Revenge of the Nerds. And we dyno tested for peak power delivery, and emissions. Woo! The Grandma Test. With the intoxicating smell of Vicks Vapo Rub to arouse our curiosity, Grandma gets into the act to rank the cars on comfort.
Ooh, let's watch Groundhog Day.
Does big horsepower mean bad fuel mileage? We'll find out in our mileage test. A drivability test. All the cars are street legal. Then it's off to the quarter mile for some full throttle fun. We'll record the 0 to 60 times too. And it better stop as fast as it looks. Then it's off to Willow Springs International for the road course, where handling will be absolutely critical. Next, it's off to the Pirelli skid pad and the gross display of horsepower tests. So tighten up your lap belt and slam it into gear. This is Sport Compact Car's Ultimate Street Car Challenge. The Ultimate Street Car Challenge is sponsored in part by Jackson Racing, the leading source of performance parts and accessories. When you're thinking of performance, go to jacksonracing.com for all your go-fast goodies. And by Pirelli. Power is nothing without control. See the entire P0 collection at your nearest Pirelli dealer. And by CC Tuner, your doorway to the world of compact car tuning online. Look to cctuner.com for daily specials and discounts on wheels and tires to performance enhancers. Tune them well, drive them fast. cctuner.com. Let's begin the tests. Let's go to our car show judges.
What we're looking for is overall appearance of the vehicle, and the two terms that we're kind of looking at is balance and linearity. How well the car is put together, how the vehicle strikes you when you look at it, especially the real detail things that are not visible on a stock vehicle.
I wonder if our other judges agree with Kelvin's assessment.
The engine needs to be detailed, the interior needs to be detailed, everything. I mean, all the way from the ground up.
We have to look at paint, metal, any areas in suspension, overall chassis, the engine appearance, any upgrades there, interior. The details to attention are areas and points that we're looking at.
According to our judges, that screaming orange 510 gets the maximum 100 points for presentation. And by the look of these cars, this should get interesting. Now, let's meet some of the owners.
We put the Jackson supercharger on it. We're running about 9.5 pounds of boost. It should be about 10 pounds, 10 and a half, but we've poured it and polished the intake and poured it out the throttle body, which has made it for better airflow. Also, we've adjusted the cam timing, which has also increased the volumetric efficiency of the engine.
Basically, I put a Japanese spec higher compression supercharged block in it. It's a little bit stronger. It has piston oilers. It's 8.9 to 1 compression opposed to 8.5, which comes stock in a supercharged car. It has a stock flywheel, which has been balanced. It has a custom ACT clutch, and basically went through the alignment and dialed in as much negative camber as I could all the way around and set that up.
Got gas mileage?
Unbelievable.
So we fill the tanks and then seal the filler necks to keep it legit.
The good fuel. We got her filled up. 5 gallons. Good to go.
And in our 87-mile test through some harrowing mountain roads, we easily uncover the fuel hogs. Out of the editor's scorts, looks like the MR2, Supra, and F360 get the top 3 spots. The MR2 gets an impressive 36.1 miles per gallon. And our methanol twin-engine Tiburon, on the other hand, sucks. Did he really think methanol is the future? No ultimate street car challenge would be complete without a drivability test. No trailer queen. But some of the cars have problems.
We were doing the low-speed drivability test. It wasn't too low speed. In the process, blew the belts off it. The serpentine belt wrapped around the back side of the crankshaft and broke the oil seal on the front side of the crank. So we're going to try and change it so we can keep racing.
Well, Jeff's Mustang finally gets back on the road to nab the number 3 position, but the clear winner is the Ferrari. Let's meet some more car owners.
We used to be in the Hyundai business, so we built the car for that. It weighs about the same as a stock Tiburon because we've taken a lot of stuff out of it, and then of course we've added in an engine. They're identical. They're both Hyundai 2.0 liter Tiburon engines. They're both turbocharged. It's a front powertrain out of another Hyundai in the back. So 2 powertrains identical, 600 horsepower, you know, all-wheel drive.
This is the 5th rendition of the motor that this car has seen. Bored out, 20 over, it has June pistons, ported and polished the heads, 1 millimeter larger stainless steel valves. Crank has had some work done to it. Block has been metal-axed. Up front we have the Brembo 4-piston caliper, the large brake package, 13.125 diameter, cross-drilled vented rotors. It should run fairly well on the track if I can drive it. That's my biggest concern is my driving abilities, because I know the car will take it.
This is it's an 88 roller block, 302, bored 30 over, displaces 306 cubic inches. As for me being selected for being out here, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's cool because it's an import magazine. I have an American car, and of all things, it's a Mustang. Most of the import guys don't like them. The other side is, you know, they're probably going to want to try and embarrass me a little bit. Maybe that's part of the reason why some people voted for me. You know, they want to see me get my tail whooped. So even though it is an American car, they still asked me to come out here. So it has to say a little bit of something. Even if it is to embarrass me, I'm still here.
Let's get on the dyno. The dyno is a true test of performance. It takes no prisoners. We're doing 2 poles for peak power and power delivery. And despite the editor's attempts to reward flexible engines, brute power still rules the day.
Yeah, this is the McMullen Argus Tech Center. We share it with all our magazines. Doing a bunch of work in here all at the same time. We're doing our dyno testing, we're doing our emissions testing, and we're doing our engineering evaluation. Dyno testing is pretty obvious. We see how much horsepower it's got. But we also are giving it a score based on its power delivery. So instead of just peak power, we also give it a score on how much power it gives over a power band. So something that's really peaky is going to get a lower score than something that's got a lot of torque across the whole band. In between runs, we give them 2 runs each in case they want to change something or the first one didn't go so well. In between runs, we stick a probe up the tailpipe and sniff it. So, you know, the guy comes in here and makes 600 horsepower, he's going to have a hard time on the emissions test. So, yeah, there's a counter test to everything. And then the engineering test, we just have a bunch of nerds that go over there and look over the car and check it out and score it completely arbitrarily. And, you know, we add it all up in the end, so it'll be good. This one made 314 horsepower at the wheels, which is pretty impressive considering it's a 1.6 liter engine. It's supercharged and turbocharged. It's supercharged at low RPM, then that flips off and the turbo takes over, but it's flipping off too early, so it's got a big lag in the middle of it. So he's going to try a different gear and see if it'll work a little bit better.
They pulled in and made their runs. They didn't have to tune the car on the dyno. The front engine is making approximately 309 horsepower. The rear engine was making about 317 for a combination of about 630 horsepower in a Hyundai Tiburon. In fact, they only made 1 of their available 3 runs and were happy with it and drove back off and they were done. 300Zs really are nice cars. They're real heavy duty, and his car made a tremendous amount of horsepower. And my understanding is that it handles very, very well. I think it is a little odd having a Mustang in this particular crowd. I think it's actually really neat. It shows that there's a lot of diversity and that car people are car people, that we don't have to be, I'm a Honda guy so I don't like Mustangs, or I'm a Mustang guy so I don't like imports. The street rodding is street rodding. I mean, we're actually at a street rod shop full of 32s and Model A's, and there's a Biscayne in there. You know, it's all the same stuff. It's just a different approach. And I mean, the Mustang came out here today and impressed. He made more horsepower than anybody except the 2 combined motors of the Hyundai, and it's a very, very clean, nicely done car.
I mean, it's a stock car more or less, so the horsepower was good. I think we made about 340 to the wheel. So nothing to complain about. Very smooth power delivery, so it's very consistent.
I think the curriculum they put together is very good. I think they're testing every aspect of the vehicle, from chassis dynamics to powertrain to design, interior, exterior design. So I think it's a well good program they put together.
The Datsun 510 made 318 horsepower, which, believe it or not, is a lot less than he expected. He's got a big misfire problem. It's only making 5 pounds of boost. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. .441, he lost a bunch. Whatever he did was not good. So 508 or 509, I think, is the peak we're sticking with. They raised the boost and leaned it out a little bit, and apparently it didn't like it at all. They set it back the way it was for the quarter mile, huh? Horsepower test, we follow right up with emissions test. You might make a ton of power, but if you lose here, this test is worth every bit as much as the peak power is. So we're using kind of an old machine because it's at least reliable. We're not doing a normal test that they run in California or anything. We're just testing hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide at idle and 2,500 RPM. And then we add up the values for hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide in both zones. So we have 4 data points. We add them up and score everybody based on that. It'll counteract your good big horsepower score. So this forces you to have a well-rounded car.
Peak power goes to the Hyundai Tiburon that pumps out a healthy 627 horsepower to the wheels. Which wheels? Front or rear? The Mustang makes 534 horsepower, and the Z a respectable 509. The Tiburon gets the first spot in power delivery and a perfect 100 points, followed by the Mustang and 300ZX. In the emissions department, the Ferrari blows the cleanest, followed by the Sentra and Tiburon. Let's meet some more car owners.
One of Japan's nastiest bad boys. It's a twin-turbo all-wheel drive car. It's got 4-wheel steering, depending on how fast you're going. It's an extremely robust motor, pretty hard to brake, actually. The right-hand drive was a little interesting at first. Once I got into the car, I found that it honestly took about 30-45 minutes to get accustomed to. I went ahead and upgraded the turbos to HKS GT2530 twin ball bearing turbo kit. The turbo kit that I got would bolt right onto the stock cast manifold, but I wanted to go, a little harder core, so I went and got the stainless HKS. There really is no better way to be unique and fast at the same time than with one of these.
This is pretty much a very stock Ferrari 360 out of the box. The only thing I really did to it is wheels and tires for better grip. The engine is basically a stock Ferrari 360 motor in a V8. It is a 3.6 liter displacement. It has a very nice power delivery. It's very smooth. What I did was I added the carbon fiber air cleaners on top and also the carbon fiber engine bay. What I did is I want to add a little bit of color to the interior, so I purchased a set of Sparkle seats from Italy. These are carbon fiber seats, so they weigh considerably less than the stock seats. I